This is Kevin with Real World Review. I just want to do a quick little video and just kind of explain why the Surface RT is still a device that I use on a fairly consistent basis. I bought this on Black Friday. It must have been 3 years ago at this point, when they were on sale for $199. And I can honestly say for $199, I feel like I really got my money's worth. Biggest things that I've used this thing for are just mass storage capabilities. You know, not only internal storage, but the expandable storage. I've had a 128 gig card in it for pretty much its whole life. This is my go-to companion when I'm on the road. If I'm taking on vacation or if I'm taking a ton of pictures, I always want to have this thing with me. It works really, really well just to take pictures with the camera, slap them on here, upload them, whether it be just throwing them on if I use my internal card, or I plug in a USB reader, or I plug it straight into the camera. I mean, it does everything. So I mean, that's where having the full-size USB really helps with that. On top of that, it you know, there's not a huge, obviously everybody complains about it. I mean, there's not a huge a selection of apps in the store, but there are ones that are passable for just really, really quick photo editing, and then uploading to social media or my OneDrive, or you know, really, it's just that's kind of what I use it for. It's just for little quickie things that I don't want to bust out the, you know, I have the Pro 4 that I've done another review on. You know, obviously the Pro 4 is awesome. It can do everything this thing can, but when it comes to battery life, you know, this thing has just phenomenal battery life in my experience. It just goes all day long. Another thing I like about it is, you know, having the USB dongle, just being able to plug that in for a mouse or keyboard. So I've got that. So I mean, that works out really well. So mainly I use this as just my go-to for the you know, Microsoft cloud-based apps, OneNote, OneDrive, things like that. It works really, really well for just, you know, being able to just flip it on and flip it off. That's something that you know, the Surface can do that, the Pro can do that too, but it's just a little bit more convenient sometimes, just being able to dig this thing out. With the newest update, I just updated it yesterday. I mean, it has more of a you know, Windows 10 type of look. It's not exactly the same, but I mean, it does. It definitely gets it's an upgrade as far as, you know, Windows 8. That you know, it's obviously it still runs Windows 8, but you know, the interface is a little bit jarring, kind of, you know, going to that whole, you know, start screen thing. I mean, I never really had an issue with it, but I prefer this over the Windows 8, you know, full interface. You know, there's a lot of other things I use it for. You know, being able to cast it to media to like my Xbox. That works really, really well. I've used that for a long time. Sometimes if I'm just hanging out up in the office, I'll turn this thing on and you know, go into like pictures and just kind of, you know, it's kind of cool just to be able to jump in here and you know, just do a slideshow. And you know, my wife and I travel a lot, so I like having this thing just kind of run in the background. It kind of reminds me of some of the places that we've been, and you know, some of the cool things that we've seen. So I mean, you know, to me, I mean, I think you can get these things for probably about $100 now. You know, a digital photo frame costs like $80, you know, for a decent one. So I mean, I feel like this is a lot better tool than a photo frame, you know. Same thing with, I also have kind of one of my older tablets I have laying around that I surprisingly still use. Well, I'm kind of getting to be where I can't use it anymore, but I have a HP touchpad that I just, you know, I put, you know, I got rid of WebOS and run Android on it, but it's kind of getting ready to be retired at this point. It's just barely chugging along. But this thing, I mean, it's, as far as usability goes, I mean, it's perfectly acceptable still, in my opinion. I mean, it's not the fastest thing I've ever used, but it still works, and you know, I enjoy using it. Another thing I use it for is apps like TuneIn or something like that, where I'll just you know, turn it on and, you know, kind of just either use the inboard speakers and listen to the radio while I'm out in the garage, or I'll connect it to a Bluetooth speaker, and it works really well for that, just because, I mean, well, I'll show you too. I do like how if you have the screen off, it still will play the radio. You don't have to worry about it going to sleep or anything like that. Another feature that I've noticed a lot of people talking about on here is the remote desktop feature. I have used that. My nephew took my wireless dongle for my desktop, so I got to go run over to his place and get that back right after I'm done doing this. But so I can't really demonstrate that for you right now. But I mean, it's a passable experience. I mean, it works well. It's a little bit laggy. I mean, my home network is really fast, and it's still a little bit laggy. So I don't really foresee it getting any better than what I'm experiencing. I mean, it'll work for, like, in a pinch if you need to grab a file or something like that and don't want to bother getting on the computer. But I mean, all in all, I mean it's all right. I mean it's another cool feature that isn't doesn't blow me away, but I can see it being useful in some situations. Gaming on it it's pretty good, decent experience. There's obviously a limited selection of games, but like I have San Andreas here. I do have a bunch of other games like the Halo, Spartan Strike, and Spartan Assault that I don't have currently loaded on here, just because I'm kind of doing some I'm redoing all my shuffling around pictures and screwing around with that, so I have all the memory cards tore out, everything. But gaming's alright. I mean, I think it's it's about as good as a tablet experience can get. So really, the purpose of this video is just want to do a quick little thing. People rag on the Surface RT all the time, which, I mean, some of that is deserving. I mean, it's a lot of good ideas that were good in theory, but they weren't really practically fleshed out. That being said, it's been something that I'm not wholly dissatisfied with it. I mean, it's done its job. It still does its job. I do like that Windows 8 has kind of stood the test of time better than Android has for me, as far as some of my Android tablets that are newer than this, with newer Android OSs or versions loaded on them, just run so bad. It's a struggle just to do anything on them anymore. Versus this, I mean, it's running the latest version of Windows 8.1, and it still just is nice and snappy. Things are very responsive, which is definitely what I cannot say that about some of my other Android tablets that I've been using. But I'll go ahead and wrap it up with that. Really, I mean, if you have the opportunity to pick one of these up for $100 or under, which I would assume you'd probably be able to get by now. I can't say it's a bad purchase. They were definitely, in my opinion, not worth like the $500 or whatever they're trying to get them from launch. So go ahead and leave me a comment if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them as best I can. And definitely looking for feedback as much as you guys want to give. So don't rag on me too hard. I'm still kind of new to this, but thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you later.